What's going on, guys? It's PokePond back with another video for you. So excited to unpack today's episode for you. We're talking everything sealed from Destined Rivals, Journey Together. We're talking about Chinese Pokemon exclusives as well. We got so much to cover. There's so much going on in the sealed market right now. Prices are going crazy. I'm predicting another big pump as well. Make sure you subscribe down below to never miss an opportunity. Let's get into it. So we got to start off any episode by talking about Destined Rivals. It's the set that everyone's talking about. It's on the tips of everyone's tongues and everyone's asking me, when's it going to get cheaper? How cheap's it going to go? But to be honest, guys, this is not a bad time to buy into Destined Rivals in the grand scheme of things. The price has come down a little bit over the last couple of weeks, as we kind of expected it would. Current price, well, last week it was averaging 248. Last sales on TCG 243, loads of sales for 243, loads of activity, and that's all from today as well, the 21st of June. So I mean, it's come down what, like $5 in the last week. I really don't think it's going to come down much more. There's so many people online shilling it and saying that, oh, it's going to go to MSRP and it's going to sit on shelves. I really don't think it will. I think even if they crank out Destined Rivals, people will just open it more than ever. Like, yeah, we may see it drop down another $10, $20, but look, put this into perspective, okay? 243. Most sets now in Scarlet and Violet are around the 210 to 220 range. So you're like $20 over the average of box prices. And when I'm talking about that, I'm talking about like your Surging Sparks, your Journey Together, you know, all other sort of mainline sets that are in this more sort of ultra modern block. Even like Paradox Rift, Temporal, they're not that far away in price to where we are at the moment. They're still holding at over $200, closer to like 210, 220 range. So for 243 for Destined Rivals, I'm still buying in. What I've done is I am slowly acquiring a case worth. So I'm spreading out the cost over time. So as it comes down a little bit, I'm buying into it. I'm buying like one a week now. We're now on box 4. I'm going to go pick it up today from the mail centre. So we're on box 4 out of 6. And I've told myself I'm not allowed to buy anything else big in my sealed collection. I'm still buying sealed stuff, but nothing big unless I see a good bargain or something like that until I've completed the 6 boxes of Destined. And then, to be honest, it'll be nice to take the pressure off a bit and go and buy into some other sets that I'm lacking. I'm probably going to buy a bit more 151, a bit more prismatic, that kind of thing, and look out for bargains and stuff like that. But at the moment, Destined Rivals, another booster box coming my way. My average price is still below market because we managed to get the first one for retail and we've been getting some pretty good deals. So I'm glad I spread out the cost on that. A lot of people have been asking me, oh, Pons, you should have just bought a case on release. I'm sorry, but a case on release was going for crazy money. And there's so much of a premium on a case now, which I personally don't agree with. Like, a sealed case to me is no more beneficial than having 6 loose ones. In fact, I'd rather have 6 loose ones because then I can inspect it, I can choose which ones I want, get ones with nice tight wraps, no tears, no nothing. I've had friends that have been buying cases of like older products like Sword and Shield, and then they've opened it and the print quality is just awful. Like the production quality, the boxes are all crushed up, or like the wraps all like baggy and all over the place. And this is like older Sword and Shield sets before there were the major problems. So to me, I'd rather buy them one at a time, and then I can keep an eye on the market and the costs. If they suddenly dip down in price, I might finish off the case quickly, or, you know, if not, then I can just do what I'm doing now and just buy one a week and spread it out, etc. Anyway, Destined Rivaled has come down a little bit in price, but in the grand scheme of things, I think it's cheap. And for 243, my Destined Rivals, I'm not selling it for at least 5 years. That's a guarantee. Not selling that case for at least 5 years. If I end up buying more over the case, then I may sell that within 2 years, 3 years, even a year. If it starts 2x and 3x, then I'm happy to put that money back into other things. But my personal collecting and investing journey, I want to put together a case that I'm not going to touch of Destined Rivals, and that's my play for it. Don't feel like you have to do the same. You know, we all have different levels of risk tolerance, and we all have different financial situations as well. But Destined Rivals, I think it's one of the best sets in Scarlet and Violet. I think it's looking cheap right now. I wouldn't hold your breath too long for it getting much cheaper. You may miss your opportunity. Yeah, I know there's a lot of people saying, yeah, but it's going to be in print pond for another 2 years. Yeah, but it's so in demand, this set. And I tell you what, those rip and shippers, those evil rip and shippers, hey, if I get called evil for being an investor / collector, then I'm going to call them evil for ripping and shipping and ruining my investing hobby. That's a joke, by the way, don't get offended. Yeah, those rip and shippers are going through Destined like no tomorrow. It's one of the most popular sets to open at the moment. Destined Rivals, good buy in my opinion. Come down in price about $8 since last week. Last sales on eBay US, $285. Again, that's a decent price point. It's holding some value, and this is what I'm talking about. If it's $285 now, even a few weeks after release, when some people are taking profit and dumping the ones that they bought for retail, $285 now, this early on, means that when we get to 2 years, 3 years, and it's well out of print and not many people are selling them because people are just keeping them. The people that have got them are going to keep them. The people that were going to rip them have already ripped them. That you're getting no more supply. Supply's going down every day as people are opening them or damaging them or taking them off the market to keep sealed for longer. I tell you what, in 2-3 years time, Destined Rivals is going to have such a run up in price. I mean, it's going to have a run up in price before then, but when this thing goes out of print and the market starts drying up, name your price. Honestly, it will absolutely pump. I guarantee it. Let's have a look then at last sold in the UK. If you're new to the channel, I compare both US and UK markets for everything. I'm UK based, but I followed the sealed market all around the world. So whether you're a US viewer or a UK viewer or even part of the EU, you should be able to get something out of this channel. And I can give you a unique perspective on what's going on in the worldwide sealed market. And also, don't ask me questions on singles. So many people ask me questions on singles and slabs. Don't know what to tell you. I collect them, but I don't invest in them. They're incredibly risky, high risk, high reward. Sealed is my forte. If you want to ask me about sealed, that's fine. I actually have a join section on YouTube. It is a paid service. You can either join for a small cost just to support the channel, or for the higher service, I will connect with you on Instagram and I will answer all of your questions, day or night, whatever. If you're paying that subscription, I'm going to reply as soon as I can. I'll teach you everything I know. The people that have got the most out of that service are people who are probably going to be moving a lot of money into the hobby over the next couple of months. Maybe they're liquidating some assets. Maybe they're wanting to move into Pokemon Sealed for the first time and put a decent amount of money down. That's really what the service is for, so that I can sort of help them and assist them in buying the best thing at that time. So the service will just pay for itself. In the small fee that you'll pay, you'll hopefully earn a lot more money than you would have done without my advice. That's the idea behind it. But yeah, UK based. Follow a UK market, follow US market. Make sure you subscribe down below to never miss an opportunity, and I'll track the market. We do a video every Saturday when we can, and we will keep an eye on the market. So you can just tune in once a week and I'll just download all the data for you. That's all you need to know. So you don't have to follow it in the week, because it is a lot of data to follow. It really is. So cheapest in the UK right now is 209. That's actually last sale has gone up a little bit. Like I said, I'm averaging in now at about 189, so I'm doing quite well going forward. Let's have a look then at Prismatic Evolutions. Prismatic Evolutions, honestly, it's one of those sets that I was surprised when it started dipping below $100. We made a video last week that was saying that the bottom of the market is in, and we possibly called it. I mean, even with all these big Costco bundle reprints and stuff like that, honestly don't think it's going to affect the price that much. It's crazy, right? Because when we made this video last week, it was just dipping below $100 right here on the chart, right here. And I called the bottom of the market on Prismatic, and I said, even if it isn't the bottom of the market, we're very close to it. And you may get a load more reprints over the next couple of months, but I don't think it's going to spend long below $100. Those were my words 7 days ago. And look at this, we're seeing a rebound up in price already. I didn't expect to see a rebound up this quick. Now $107, 107, 108, 108. Do you know what? I actually scare myself a little bit at how accurate my predictions are sometimes. There's over about 18 months worth of predictions on the channel going back. Go back and watch any video. Don't take my word for it. Go back and watch any video from back in the day. I was actually watching my first video from 18 months ago this morning. Evolving Skies is at $400. $400 18 months ago, and I'm screaming at people to buy it. This was end of 2023. I'm screaming at people. There's like a little dip in price, and all the Pokemon YouTubers at the time were telling you, sell off. You're at the peak. It's starting to dip now. At $440 that was, and I'm there making a video, my first YouTube video. We've come so far in such a short amount of time. I appreciate each and every one of you that are subscribers. Make sure you subscribe down below to never miss an opportunity. But yeah, $400. I'm screaming at people to buy Evolving Skies, and we all know what the price is at now. It's absolutely disgusting. So yeah, Prismatic Evolutions, $100 last week. We even saw some sales for like 99, 98 on TCG Player. Now at like 107, there's 108.99. Anything from like a 7 to 9% rebound in price rise over the last week. Really positive to see. Prismatic Evolutions is just one of those sets. I think it's going to absolutely pump. One of my people that have joined on the membership service has been asking me, oh, I've got all this Prismatic Evolutions, should I just sell it now and move into 151? No, you're mad. Prismatic Evolutions is one of the best sets out there. 151 will pump, don't get me wrong, but just give Prismatic Evolutions some time. Now is the time to buy into it. We're at the floor of the market. Goodbye long term. I'm going to buy more of it once I've finished doing my Destined. I'm going to carry on buying more 151. More Prismatic Evolutions. I'm buying into loads of stuff, to be honest. Actually, I like to spread my money around, and there's just so many good plays to be made at the moment. I will not accept anyone that's moaning on YouTube right now saying that there's nothing to buy and the market's too oversaturated and it's too expensive at the moment. There are plays everywhere to be made right now, and that's what this channel is all about, pointing out those plays to you, not keeping them all to myself, because I don't have unlimited funds. I really don't. I think it would surprise a lot of people how little I actually spend throughout the year, although this year I have spent more than I have ever spent. So there you go. Things just build up over time. When you've been doing this a long time, I've been doing this about 10 years, if you're just feeding in a little bit of money every now and again, because the sealed is going up so much as well, your portfolio is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's just like a snowball. It just continues to roll. So before you know it, you look back like me now, and it's 10 years later, and I've got a massive portfolio. And I just think, how did I get there? Because when I was doing it 10 years ago, I was broke. I was really, really broke. Like, I was just about making my bills, and if I had a little bit of money left over, I might buy an Elite Trainer box here or there. Something like that. So we've come a long way. And it's important to realise that you should not live outside your means. You should only invest what you're willing to lose. It is all shiny cardboard at the end of the day. It could all go to zero. You know, we've seen other hobbies do that. Beanie Babies come to mind in the UK. So many people were buying into those to invest into them, and now they're basically worthless. There's so many dead hobbies like that. I don't think Pokemon's going to be one of those. So personally, you can see from behind me, and I've got a bigger collection in the back as well, that I vote with my feet. Do you know what I mean? I'm not one of these people that's overinflating their numbers of what they've bought. I'm very honest and open about it. And a lot of my subscribers are buying way more than me as well. It's just how it is. $104 last sold on eBay. Look, you can see the Costco bundles here for $145. Kind of crazy. Not a bad price, $145 for a bundle and an Elite Trainer box. I don't think that's going to bring down the price down that much. Last sold in the UK, we're down to just under 100. Well, just over 100 with postage. That's like 102, 103. Not a bad price and kind of consistent. It's been about that price for a couple of weeks now. You could pick them up for around about 100 or so. Let's have a look at Pokemon Center then. Pokemon Center US. very quick for us to go through that. You have nothing in stock in the booster box section, nothing at all. And let's have a look at the Elite Trainer box section, which I've not actually looked at, nothing at all. It's at a weird stage at the moment where Pokemon Center is just drip feeding product, and if you jump on it, you can get into the queue and you might get products for like pre-orders for like Black Bolt, White Flare and that kind of thing. We successfully managed to pre-order some booster bundles, one each of Black Bolt and White Flare, on Pokemon Center UK this week, so I'm quite happy about that. I was getting frustrated with the queue and I quit it and left and walked away, and I was talking on Instagram to one of my other Pokemon friends and they said, no, get yourself back in the queue. So I did, and I'm glad I did because I managed to secure some booster bundles, so really happy with that. Pokemon Center UK, again, looking similar. We've still got Paradox Rift and Temporal Forces in stock. This is why you need to be careful if you're in the US as well, because we've still got it for below retail. £143 is below retail. Retail is like 156 here. So, you know, Paradox Rift and Temporal Forces have gone up in price. They're over $200. They're way over retail in the US. And you need to be careful, and this is why you need to pay attention to the international market, because it's not hard for me to buy Temporal Forces for 143. In fact, not long ago I could get this cheaper than 143 from other distributors here in the UK. We can buy it for cheaper and arbitrage it across the sea to US, and a lot of people do as well. So that's why you need to be really careful moving into like Paradox Rift and Temporal Forces, especially right now if you're in the US, because the EU has basically got unlimited stock for below retail as well. And this is why you need to look at a channel like this and look at the bigger picture of the international markets, because it's really not hard to sell internationally on eBay, and they're making it easier and easier because now eBay is handling the international part. So basically once you ship it to, say I was to sell it internationally, so I was going to sell it to the US. Once I ship it to eBay here in the UK, that's done. I get my money. They handle the rest of getting it to you. They're making it easier and easier. And I've said a few times in this video, I think over the next sort of 5 years, whether it's eBay that we're all trading on or another competitor, there's going to be more international trade. I think personally, we're going to see one eBay. I think that all the regional eBays are going to combine eventually into one international one. I do think it's in the making. It's going to take time for it to happen, but I think in the next 5 years, all of us, and not just in Pokemon, I think the whole global market is just going to be trading a lot more internationally. I know a certain person, a certain president might not want that, so it may not happen for a little while, but there you go. Let's have a look then at Journey Together. Journey Together is sitting on some shelves at the moment for retail in the US, but it's still holding a decent premium. The chart's broken on TCG Player for some reason. Sorry about my voice cracking a bit there. Let's have a look then at last sold. $215, 213, 211, 215. I think it's actually gone up in price a little bit. Last week was what, the 14th? So 14th it was selling for 219 and 205. So an average of that is what, like 212? What's it selling for now? 215. So technically it's up like $3. Just so cheap. So cheap. Sitting around, going to be overprinted a lot because it's in the more modern side of things when they started ramping up printing. And to be honest, people just want to look at other products. Like, people much prefer Surgeon, Destined, Prismatic, and whatever's going to come next after White Bolt, White Flare and Black Bolt. Whatever comes next after that is going to be crazy. I mean, I know there's talk about like Inferno X or X Inferno, the next Japanese set. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate on any of that until I can actually see some set lists and stuff like that. But potentially another good set that's going to take attention away from Journey Together. But it's not a bad buy because it's one of the cheapest booster boxes at the moment at $215. Let's have a look on eBay. Look, last sold $190. $190 for the enhanced version, sealed. That's not a bad pickup. That's one of the cheapest booster boxes on the market right now. And I tell you what, it's not the worst set. It's not the worst set out of Scarlet and Violet. It's really not. So for $190, that's a crazy buy. And look at this, right? 2 sales, same day, yesterday. $219, buy it now, sold. 190 buy it now sold. So that is a dump. And that is a deal that no one's looking at. Like, whoever picked that up, look, it's got the new listing tag as well. So it means that it got listed and someone just bought it out straight away because they knew. They knew that that's a crazy good deal. I think anything sub $200 right now for a Scarlet and Violet set is a good buy, especially Journey Together with the enhanced version. That's not a bad pickup. I know people are memeing on it and saying, oh yeah, it's a terrible set. It's not a terrible set. I think it will do fine long term. Not bad. Not a bad pickup. Sometimes it's not about all the heater sets. Sometimes you've just got to look at what's a good deal. Look at this. Right, in the UK, last sold 200 for the enhanced, 198. I mean, what's like $200 in pounds? That's got to be like $260 we're paying, something like that, and you can pick up for like 190. That's not a bad play, and we always point out plays here. Let's talk about 151 briefly then. It's looking less and less likely as time goes on that the 151 Elite Trainer box is going to get reprinted. Again, even if it does, I don't think it's going to affect price that much. I don't think they're going to print it into the ground at this stage, and it's just creeping up in value. I'm going to buy an Elite Trainer box because I don't have an Elite Trainer box of it. I have lots of the bundles, which is also a good play to buy into. But for collection purposes and still as a bit of an investment, I am going to buy a 151 Elite Trainer box when I've finished off my Destined case. So probably in about 2 weeks' time. The price will probably be a bit higher then. It's probably going to go up another 10-15% before then. But that's just how I'm doing it. You know, I'm setting myself targets and rules. You've got to set your own rules and your own spending limits with this kind of thing, because otherwise you're just going to buy everything, and you can't buy everything. I know you want to. I know how addictive it is, believe me. But it's really important to manage your finances properly. And I have a set allowance that I allow myself to spend on product, and I have a plan as well. I have a plan that I want to finish off the Destined case before that becomes a bit more scarce as well. So 151 boost Elite Trainer box, sorry, last week was $239 on the average. Now it's like $250. So that's what, $11? 11 on 239, let's calculate it out. 11 divided by 239 times 100, 4.6% increase in price on the Elite Trainer box in the last 7 days. If you take the average from TCG Player last time, it's up 20% over the last 3 months as well. So it's starting to accelerate up in price now. And I do think people are going to FOMO into it quite hard. 77% over the last 6 months. And over the last year, look at this. You can pick one up for $67 a year ago. That's kind of crazy. And now we're at $243. Massive run up in price. 254% increase in price over the last year. And just like steady growth as well. We're all about the data here, and you can't argue with that data. You really can't. It's only going in one direction. Last sold in the US, $190 with the Pokemon Center exclusive version going for $520. That's kind of crazy. That's the highest I've ever seen that go. So people definitely FOMOing into that as well. Last sold in the UK, £208. I think it's a buy at that price, 210. I mean, when I come to buy it in a couple of weeks' time, it's probably going to be closer to like 230, 240, and I'll still buy in at that price anyway. Let's have a look then at Paldea Evolved. Paldea Evolved has had a bit of a run up in price recently. The Magikarp in a PSA 10 is doing absolute numbers right now. The price is going crazy on that. Go check that out if you're interested. But we're seeing a 42% price gain over the last 3 months as people are starting to buy into it. And look at these leg ups in price. We're really starting to see people move aggressively into Paldea Evolved. We've been calling it for quite a while here on the channel. I still think even if you buy in now at this price, it's going to do well. Hold it for a couple of years, you're going to do fine out of it. Believe me. $350 last sold on TCG Player. Last week the average was sub 300. 297, so that's quite a run up in price. So 297 to 349 is 350. Sorry, my brain's not working. So $54, $53, 53 to 297. Let's calculate it. 53 divided by 297. 17% price rise in the last 7 days. That's mad. That can't be right. Is it? Is Paldea Evolved actually just pumping? Let's have a look. Yeah, 297. Yeah, up to 350. In fact, look at how quickly it's going. Okay, so last sales on the 20th. So yesterday, we were selling for 309. Yeah, yesterday, the day started, it was 309. Today, we're getting sales for 350. So we're seeing a live buyout right here on Paldea Evolved. We are seeing a leg up in price. So I expect when we look next week as well, it's going to go up even more and even more vertical. I'm telling you, even when it's at 400 a box, which it'll be at 400 a box soon, but even when it's at 400 a box, it's a buy in my eyes. Even when it's at 450 a box, even though it's still in print, it's still a buy. I think Paldea Evolve is starting to pull ahead now. It's starting to show that it's going to be one of the front runners of Scarlet and Violet. I think you're going to see Destin there. I think you're going to see Paldea there. I think you're going to see Twilight there. And maybe Surging Sparks as well, depending on how many reprints it gets. But Paldea Evolved is definitely a buy in my eyes, even with this run up in price at the moment. It's starting to pump. We can see that live on the charts. And look at these sales from yesterday. Look, 325, 350. That's gone up a lot since last week. It really has. Last sold in the UK, 245 with some postage. Let's find another one. 187 Italian import. 239. Crazy. Paldea Evolved, starting to pump, starting to leg up live in front of our eyes. That's why you pay attention to this channel, because you might not have seen that. You might not have noticed that it was pumping up this week. And part of that is because of the Magikarp 10. Should we have a look, actually, what it's going for in the US? I haven't actually checked it. I've only heard people talking about it. Let's just do it live. Paldea Evolved, Magikarp PSA 10. Oof. $2,175 for the 10. That's nuts. It's not even an SIR either. It's just so hard to grade with that black hollow pattern. It's so hard to get a 10. $2,000 now for the Magikarp. Look, there's one here going for 2,500 on an auction as well. 2,800 import from Australia. Guys, Magikarp's going to the moon. Paldea Evolved is going to the moon. Is that more expensive than the Sunbreon now? Oh, we've got to look now. Umbreon Prismatic PSA 10. 2,700. So one of them sold for more than the Sunbreon. That is absolutely nuts. Okay, Paldea Evolved has gone in my eyes from what was previously a strong buy to you'd be absolutely mad to not purchase this right now. I think we've got to upgrade Paldea Evolved to my #1 buy now. I might actually have to buy more today. I know I said I was doing Destin, but I also said to myself, if I see crazy things happening, then I've got to pounce on that as well. Yeah, we might order a couple of Paldea Evolves tonight as well. I believe in it so much. I've been saying it for weeks and weeks. I already own quite a bit of it, but it's just now we're seeing that leg up in price and we're seeing the Magikarp go a bit mad. I'm pretty confident on that. Okay, interesting sidetrack there. Twilight Masquerade is another one of them. Just continually pumping up in price, getting up there in age as well. Just the data looks good, guys. Look at that. It's consistent growth over the last 3 months, consistent over the last 6 months, consistent over the last year, up 142% on the year from sub-retail, 107 a box, now to 260. Really starting to flex its muscles as well, starting to pull ahead. 270 last sold on TCG Player. Twilight Masquerade again is another set that I'm into heavy. I traded a lot of Evolving Skies for Twilight Masquerade earlier on in the end of last year. maybe beginning of this year, about them. People said I was crazy doing it. I was getting it for a 6-to-1 ratio, so I was getting a case of Twilight Masquerade for every Evolving Skies, and it just seemed like a no-brainer play to me. Yes, Evolving Skies had another big run and pumped up in price, but I still own a lot of Evolving Skies as well. I've got one booster box, but I've got a lot of other sealed product in Evolving Skies, and I just knew that Twilight Masquerade is going to have a good run, and I'm telling you, you haven't seen anything from Twilight Masquerade and Paldea Evolved yet. Yes, they're going up in price. Yes, they're up 142% in the last year. You haven't seen nothing yet. You wait till these sets go out of print. These aren't even out of print yet, and they're starting to pump. I have started to say it on the channel. I think I'm one of the few people that are brave enough to make this prediction on the channel. I honestly think if you take Evolving Skies out of the situation, I think Scarlet and Violet are going to outperform Sword and Shield in the long haul. Once they've had enough time out, and once they've been out for the same amount of time, I think that Scarlet and Violet is going to shock people. It really is. Once we start rotating into the next era, once we start getting the base set of the next era, we start getting sets 1, 2, 3 of whichever era that's called, I think these sets are really going to start pumping up in price. Your Paldea, your Twilight Masquerade, probably Surgeon, definitely Destined, definitely Prismatic, probably Paldea, not Paldea Evolved, Paldean Fates as well. 151. Oh my god, Scarlet and Violet, right, has so many good sets, and it's so funny because when a lot of these sets were coming out, we all thought they were awful, and it's so funny how once you have been familiar with them for a year or two, and then you start to see them moving up in price, everyone's sentiment on the market changes. It happens every time. I've seen so many market cycles now, and it happens every time. The new era comes out and everyone's like, oh, this is rubbish. And then you get to, like, you know, set 4, set 5, set 6, and everyone's like, oh, this era is amazing. And then as it rotates out and you go into the new era, everyone's looking at the new era like, oh, it's rubbish. And then everyone funnels more money back into Scarlet and Violet. It's going to happen again. I just know it. It's so predictable. Last sold in the US, $235. I'm going to move faster now because every week it's becoming a bit of a joke now on the channel. I say I don't want to sit here and talk for an hour, but I just end up doing it. I can't help myself. Like, notice I'm doing no cuts either. No cuts, no drinks, no nothing. Unless I'm going to sneeze or something, then I'll cut the video because you guys don't want to hear that. But I'm just talking. We do this every week. Every week I end up just sitting here really hot, getting all hot and sweaty and just venting about how you guys just need to buy these products. Like, I don't know how much more I can spell it out for people. Like, this is easy mode. It doesn't matter whether the market is down or in the middle or up. Like, there's so many people with bad opinions on YouTube that are telling you that you shouldn't be buying Twilight Masquerade for £177 or Twilight Masquerade for $235 because it's going to get reprinted and it's going to go to MSRP and it's going to sit below MSRP on shelves. I would be shocked if Twilight Masquerade sits on shelves for any price. I think, right, if you got a big box store in America like your Costco or something like that, and they just sold a single booster box of Twilight Masquerade for $200, it would go crazy. There would be riots in the street for people trying to pay $200, way over retail, for Twilight Masquerade. That's a fact. Calling it here now. Twilight Masquerade is a good buy if you think it's going to sit there for retail and you want to wait around for it to try and for MSRP. I think you'll be waiting forever. I think you've missed the boat on that. Let's talk about Evolving Skies, and we've talked about it a little bit. We need to move on with this episode a little bit. Evolving Skies, basically at an all-time high, average price $18.43. It's just holding at around about that 2k mark after tax, We've said this a bit on the channel about psychological barriers. 2K is a huge psychological barrier for it to break through. Once it does break through and you get regular sales for a couple of weeks over that 2K mark, then that'll be it. The 2K mark will just become the floor of the market and you'll never get it for cheaper than that again. That's how these things work. You need to treat it a bit like the stock market. These are speculative assets. I don't care what anyone says. An Evolving Skies box for $2,000, the kind of person that's buying into that to hold and keep it sealed. Yes, you get some people having it for a collection, but most people are having it as a speculative asset. They're expecting that it will go up in price and they will probably sell it further down the line. Now, that might be in a year's time, that might be in 5 years' time. We've all got different time horizons on this thing. They might have it till retirement. I've heard a lot of people actually say that Evolving Skies is the set that they're not going to sell until they get into their retirement, which is a bold statement to make. That's a lot of years, but who knows what Evolving Skies will be worth then. But I tell you what, if Evolving Skies goes to like, I don't know, 50,000 US dollars, now, I'm not saying it will. That's a crazy claim to make. I would never make that claim with the current situation and the current data we have now. But say it went to 50,000 a box. I'm selling it. I'm sorry. I'm not holding it to retirement. You guys are crazy. If you can hold it past 50k, you're mad. But I think most of you wouldn't. Let's have a look then at what's going on. It's just hovering at its all-time high. 1899, 1968. That's a huge swing in price. Well, I don't know, $68, $70 between two sales, and you're seeing less and less being sold now. I know this is just TCG Player, but it gives you an indication. Once these boxes get up there in price, there's less and less people that will buy them. But equally, there's less and less people that will sell them as well, because the demand's always going down, and people are always taking them off the market. Okay, this person that's buying in for $18.99, yeah, they might be a rip and shipper, they might be opening it. Okay, that takes it off the market. Well, they might be a sealed investor, they're going to sell it back to the market. Yeah, but if they're buying in at 1900, they're not going to sell it for 1900. They might sit on it and wait for it to go to 5k or 4k or 3k. They're taking it off the market either way. So your supply is getting less and less, and you're seeing this here. Look, last sale, 1900, 20th, yesterday. Sale before that, 1968, 3 days ago. Then you have to go back another 9 days to see a sale. You've got 2 sales 9 days ago. And then before that, you have to go back another 8 days to see another sale. What you need to understand with these boxes, once they get up into crazy prices like this, is the sky is the limit. It really is. Because it will get to the stage, I guarantee it, where in 5 years' time, maybe 10 years' time, there will be none on the market. Or at least none on the market for a reasonable market price. There will be some on there for $2 grand, $3 grand over market, which no one wants to touch. But it will get to the stage where market prices say 5k. You might have 1 or 2 on there asking 10k. No one's going to buy that when the market's 5k. However, if someone posts one up for 6k, because there's none other on the market for anywhere near market value, someone will buy that. Someone will buy that as an opportunity because they've been looking at those ones for 10k and being like, I don't want to pay the full 10k, I'm just holding out for a decent deal. Once that 6k comes up, if that's the only one on the market, anywhere near market range, someone will buy that. I guarantee. And then all of a sudden, the market's just jumped 20%. The price has just jumped up $1,000 between sales. This is what happens with these rare sets as they get older. And I think in our lifetime, we're going to see that. We're going to see a situation where if someone posts any Sword and Shield box in 10 years, I think it'll just get snapped up because they're not there. And then when they do get put on, everyone just fights for it. We probably put it on an auction. If you put it on an auction in like 10 years time, Evolving Skies, people will go mad for it, I guarantee. Right, I'm waffling again. We're moving on with the video. Sorry, guys. 1950 last sold in the US, around about that all-time high. This is what I'm talking about, bouncing off that 2K mark. We need to see more regular sales over 2K. It'll come. It'll break 2K, and it will stay over 2K maybe in a month's time, maybe in 6 months' time it'll take. But I'm pretty confident within 6 months' time, it's going to be way over 2K. And once it comfortably breaks over 2K, you don't have that much resistance above it. The next resistance point is probably about 2.4, 2.5K, and then it will just bounce off of that. It will have quite a quick run up in price, and it will catch people off guard when it jumps from 2K to 2.5. Now that might happen this summer. It might happen at the end of this summer. It might happen at Christmas. It might take until the start of next year. But it's going to happen. I'm pretty confident in that. Let's have a look then at last sold in the UK. $13.98 for a nice minty one. Pretty close to an all-time high. I think all-time high we saw was like $1,500. Again, it's just going to bounce at around about that £1,500 mark or that $2,000 mark. Let's have a look at Fusion Strike then. Fusion Strike has actually come down in price a little bit this week, I think. $4.91 last week on the average. Last sold $7.91 to $7.50. There's a little bit of price manipulation going on here with the 500s. Just ignore that. $7.50 is decent. $7.91 on the average last week. We were seeing a few sales around about that 800 mark. So it's come down about $50. But it's had such a huge run up in price last month that we all know about. So around about May, it jumped from 526 right up to around about 800. So because we saw such a big run up in price, we're just seeing a little bit of a pushback, a little bit of people dumping, taking profit, blah, blah, blah. It happens. It's normal. I would expect to see it not drop below 700 now. I think that anything between $700 to like $760 is still a buy, and people will buy into that. If I had a load of cash burning a hole in my pocket, which I don't, but if really the sky is the limit on my bank account, I would probably buy more Fusion Strike. I don't think buying in at this price is a bad idea. When we're talking about big boxes like this, you need to be serious about it. You need to be ready to put it away for multiple years, and you need to be in a financial situation that you're not going to miss $800. Or if you buy multiple of them, $1,600, or 4 of them for $3,200. Okay, you need to be in a financial situation if you're going to make a big play on Fusion Strike where you've got that kind of disposable income sat around. I think if you're struggling to buy a booster box of Fusion because it's right on your budget or outside of your budget, I don't think you should buy it. I think that you should probably go into either like 151 or Prismatic or Paldea or Twilight Masquerade or something like that. These bigger boxes, the reason why we talk about them a lot is because the channel's been going for about a year and a half, and these were retail when the channel started. I was screaming at people to buy these for retail. So that's why we cover it a lot on the channel still, because there are big moves on it, and I get it. A lot of people are priced out of them or aren't part of that, but a lot of people subscribe to the channel have been here since the start and bought into these for retail, so they need to see what's going on with the prices on them. Or if you've got a decent bank balance and you just want to buy into Fusion Strike now, that's also not a bad play either in my eyes. I think Fusion Strike is going to be $1,000 box all day long and then some. We called it, what did we call it at the start of the year? We called $1,000 on Fusion Strike by Christmas. I'm pretty sure we called that. And it looks like it's going to happen. It looks like it's going to go above that, to be honest. We're looking closer to 1,200, 1,400, that kind of range, if it carries on the rate it's going at the moment. Last sold in the US, just under $800. $800 is like the all-time high. I think we saw one for like $805. So yeah, it's come down in price a tiny bit, but really not much. I think it's going to hold steady at this price, if not continue to pump. Let's have a look then at last sold in the UK, $470 with a bit of postage. Guys, so hot here in the UK right now. We're having a heat wave. I am so hot. I've got all the windows closed right now because I live on a main road and it's got traffic noise, and I don't want you guys having traffic noise in the background of the video. So I am suffering here for you guys. In the UK, we have like no aircon or anything like that. It's very rare for people to have aircon in their house. And the reason why is because for most of the year in the UK, it's cold. And properties are actually, I don't know why I'm going on a tangent about UK properties. Properties built here are built really well insulated to keep them warm because most of the time it's colder. So when it gets to summer, all of people's houses are just boiling hot because our houses are built different. They're built to keep the heat in, not to let it out. So if you close the windows on a UK property in this kind of heat, God, I tell you, it is hot. It's like 30 degrees Celsius at the moment, and it's 11:30 in the morning, so it's going to be one of the hottest days of the year here. Let's talk about Lost Origin then, because I'm getting sidetracked again. I'm sorry. You guys need to stop me. Lost Origin had a big run up in price, like Fusion Strike, come down in price a little bit. I think it's massively undervalued at the moment. Last sale $517, couple of sales at around about $500. Fusion Strike knocking on the door of 800. I've said this every week. I don't think Lost Origin should be more than $100 behind Fusion Strike. So that would put Fusion Strike at like 680, in my opinion, around that range, 670, 680, and you can pick it up for 500 now. I think that a lot of people are sleeping on Lost Origin at the moment, and I think that you're getting a little bit of a discount in price from when it ran up to around about its peak there. Around about 534. I think that's 534 pre-tax as well. Last sold on eBay is just under $500. I think anything sub $500 on Lost Origin is a steal. I really do. Last sold in the UK, £404. Again, creeping up there in price. There's one for $375. Someone got a well nice deal there. Congratulations if that was one of you guys. Yeah. Anything sub £400, anything sub $500, goodbye. To be honest, anything sub like $600 I think is a good buy. I just think the market hasn't caught up to it yet. But for that kind of price range, like if you can afford the extra couple $100, maybe just buy a Fusion. I don't know. Some people can't. It is a lot of money. I give you that. Astral Radiance, similar thing, had the run up in price, just consolidating down a bit. Not much though. It's down like, let's see, $30 from its all-time high. Not bad considering it had a massive pump from 266 to like 413. It's just normal to see a bit of price consolidation. We're just going to whiz through some of the rest of these Sword and Shield sets just because there's not too much going on with them at the moment. You can see they're pretty much just flatlining on the charts. Brilliant Stars chart is broken for some reason, has been for a few weeks, but we can see last sales around about that 400 mark, which is basically just holding strong. Is maybe a slight consolidation in price. Let's have a look actually. Last week was the 14th on the Saturday. We got sales data from the 15th, so 388 last week, and now it's like 398. So it's up $10, which is like 3%. Up 3%. To be honest, things like that, like a 3% swing over a week, it's marginal. That's just the market, just wibbling and wobbling. 3% swing isn't that much. Silver Tempest is actually up a bit, I think. It's not quite at its all-time high, but it's chasing it. All-time high was in May at like 360, and it's now at like 380. So it is at an all-time high now. And look at this. Okay, it's gone up $10 in the last sale, and it's gone up $27 in the last two sales. $27 in the last two sales is quite significant actually. $27 on 354. $27 on 354 average. 7.6%. Now these are like rough averages because I'm using like the average price on TCG Player, and we're not seeing enough sales data to confirm any kind of trend like that. But that looks like Silver Tempest again is starting to break out and move to the upside and break all-time highs as well. I know that will make at least one of my friends very happy that is trying to get rid of a Silver Tempest box, but does look like it's moving to the upside, so maybe you should hang on to that one. We never talk about Darkness Ablaze. We used to talk about it a lot on the channel because I told people that you should never invest in Darkness Ablaze because it's a massively hated set in the community, and I kind of made a bit of a meme about it, that I poured a lot of money into Darkness Ablaze booster boxes for sub-retail when they were sub-retail, and it would move so much up in price and down in price because no one really wanted it. There's not much of it around at the moment. It is a Charizard set. It is a short set. It's like a small set. People don't like it. I've personally always liked Darkness Ablaze, and I used to tell people that sometimes it's about making the plays that no one else is making and picking up the unpopular sets when they're cheap. And we're just going to look back and see how we're doing on it. So we picked this up for below retail, like about 30% below retail. Even when it was out of print, we were still buying it for like 20-30% below retail. Last 3 months we're up 20%. Last 6 months we're up 50%. Last year we're up 64%, with most of that move coming in the last 6 months. Darkness Ablaze is having a bit of upward trajectory. I don't know, I've just embarrassed myself there. Last sale is $258. Again, I don't recommend you move into it. I just thought it'd be interesting for you guys to see. Let's talk about Crown Zenith quickly then. Crown Zenith, just every week it's just up a few percent. It just continually rolls, and it's just stacking up there in value. Like I said, it's one of those creeper sets. It's so safe. It's just creep, 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 creep. And before you know it, you look back and it's done some serious gains. Last 3 months, it's up nearly 40%. Last 6 months, it's up 154%. Last year, it's up 248%. Last sale is 175. And the average for last week was 169. So 169 to 175, you're like, oh, PokePond, it's only gone up $6. And it's like, yeah, but you've also got 9 sales there for 181, which is $12 in total. So $12 on 169. Let's calculate it out. 12 divided by 169. That's another 7% price rise on Crown Zenith. I mean, it's every week. Like, I don't know what more to tell you. I keep screaming at people, buy Crown Zenith. We've been calling it. We've been calling it since like $90, and that's not even that long ago. Now we're at $174. The amount of YouTubers that were saying that they will never pay $100 for Crown Zenith because it's not worth it, because they saw it sit in Costco for cheaper than that. So why would you ever pay $100? Well, that's gone. You've got to adjust your mindset. You've got to move with the market. This is the price now, $174. I think it's going to hit a $200 resistance. I don't think it's going to take long for it to break through it, a couple of weeks. And it's just going to keep going from there. Goodbye. Crown Zenith is probably one of the safest places to put your money, I think. Last sold in the UK, £163. Last sold in the US, $175. So we're paying more for it in the UK. Look at this. We're paying $170 plus postage. That's nuts. Wanted to finish off the episode. I always like to talk about something a little bit different. We're going to talk about Chinese exclusive booster boxes. Now, I don't tend to buy too much foreign printed Pokemon cards or sealed product. I do buy a bit of Japanese, more so in the past. I bought quite a lot of like VMAX Climax, V-Star Universe, Shiny V-Star, Tag Team GX, All-Star, whatever it's called. I've bought a lot of Japanese. It's not performed as well as I wanted it to, but I'm happy buying into Japanese because it's such a big market as well. You have to. I'm not recommending these as investments because foreign sealed product, there's a lot less demand for it. the demand seems high when the market is doing well, but when the market goes down, people move out of foreign quite quickly. And I do have some regrets about some of the Japanese products that I bought. They have gone up in value from what I bought them for, but my money would have been better off just putting that money into English. It would have performed much better. Anyway, let's talk about Chinese Pokemon cards, because the Chinese are doing something very interesting. I don't own any Chinese Pokemon cards or any Chinese Pokemon sealed product, but I'm actually going today to my local card store to pick up one of these. This is a Horizons Gem Pack Volume 2. Now, Volume 1 was another set, wasn't that interesting to me. This set came out about a month ago now in China. You can pick it up for really cheap on eBay if you import from China. Personally, I would pay a little bit more for it and get it from your own country, someone who's already got it in hand. But if you're buying it direct from China, look at this, $33 for a booster box. Now, what makes this interesting to me is it's an exclusive set. So it's their own set. It doesn't exist in English. It doesn't exist in Japanese. It's really interesting, and it's an Eevee set. It's a full Eevee set. Every card is an Eevee card. There's Master Balls in it. There's Pokeballs in it. Everything is a variant of an Eevee or an Evolution, and there's unique SIRs that are in no English or Japanese sets as well. It's so cheap. It's a good product to open. I personally just want one sealed for my own collection. I don't recommend it as an investment because, like I said, foreign language stuff is so risky because it's so volatile in price. I'm just buying it because I like it. I like it. It's an exclusive. I think it will look cool sealed on the shelf behind me, and it's cheap. So those tick all the boxes for me. It's definitely a collection purchase rather than an investment one. This is what the box looks like. This is what the booster pack looks like, or one of the booster packs. And these are the exclusives. So these are the chase cards. Basically like SIRs. These are unique artworks that aren't found in any other sets as far as I'm aware. Just really cool. Really cool. It's an exclusive. Here's some of the other cards you can see. Let's see if I can zoom in. Some of the other cards. And then like here's some of the designs. So they have like the type here. They also have like either like a Master Ball or a Pokeball there, which I think is actually better because it's easier to see when you get a Master Ball and stuff like that. Let's see if they've got photos of them. They don't. That's it. But I'm going to go buy one of these now. In the UK, like I said, I could get it cheaper if I imported from China, or I can buy on eBay UK for like £40. But my local card store has them for £45, and I've been meaning to go and see them anyway. So I'm going to go support them, pay an extra £5 and go and pick one of these up. So there's something a little bit different for you. I don't recommend it for an investment for you, but there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure you subscribe down below to never miss an opportunity. I'm just going to very quickly at the end of the video pull up all of the members to give them a shout out for supporting the channel. So we have, bear with me, The Jam Jar, Jamie Story Sales, John Hook, Javier Forces, Grand Panda, Philip H, Sam J, Adam F, Nathan A. Shout outs to all of you for supporting the channel. It means a lot to me, and you're helping to support me in realising my dreams of having a successful YouTube Pokemon channel. So thank you for that. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you smash the like button. It really does help me out, and it helps push my content out there further, and it doesn't cost you a thing. Hope you guys enjoyed. Have a wonderful day, and peace.